As I promised, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for round two, and I promise you that we won't have technical difficulties or some echoing in the background because I have been awaiting this for more than 48 hours. A rematch between two of our all-time favorites in Sportswire Radio and two of maybe the greatest in the backyard's wrestling history, long, illustrious history. And now we are going to watch the second of hopefully many more matches between a man that is a tyrant king, a nemesis, and you might even want to say a shirt that I'm actually wearing right now, against a man that was once a psycho, a Diablo. He was even an industry. He was even an XCW New Age champion. Simply put, he's the real deal. And if you don't believe me, just ask the likes of the big bad Silver Wolf. Just ask the likes of Skulls the Soul Hunter. Just ask certainly the likes of Loose Cannon, because we put him on mute because he certainly found out firsthand why he's such a real deal. But you know what? I've been waiting for this all night, all day, all 48 hours. So I'm going to get right to it. Even though my voice may not be into it, but you know what? I got to give these guys the introduction that they deserve, because if I gave Skulls that introduction, and we love Skulls on Sportswire, we have to give them both the introduction that they deserve, and especially because one man is already in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, and another one is going to take his rightful place in history 21 days from now. We are counting down the days, and I cannot wait to celebrate this man and celebrate his legacy, despite maybe some fans, some wrestlers out there may not want it. But Sportswire Radio is, after all, about all wrestling that matters, and we would certainly be hypocrites if we would not induct this man who is arguably kind of the Shawn Michaels in the 1990s of our sport. Pound for pound, the best, and very well may even have the best Claymore aside from Drew McIntyre. But let's get right to it and give them those introductions that they deserve, and I can't wait to give. Even though my voice says no, we still got to do it. So with that, wait for it. Further ado, here on the Sports Report, the number one global sports show. The man they once called Diablo, the Psycho, but now simply put, the real deal, Anthony Steele. And he packs a bigger punch than the one-time real deal, Evander Holyfield. And of course, certainly not least and never last, his name operatives is the Tyrant King, the Nemesis, James Taylor, and our 2023 Sportswire Radio Personality of the Year, and of course, the man that was inducted into the Hall of Fame right after the Super Bowl because Taylor Swift wanted on, but we said no. We had the Nemesis, we had the bigger Taylor, and after you saw his TikTok most recently with over nearly 2 million views with that Stone Cold post, I think Taylor Swift definitely has nothing on James Taylor. But gentlemen, how you doing?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Technically in the UK, for our UK audience, it actually is morning time. It's 4:32 a.m. there, so that's a good point there. We do have technically about 30% of my audience on all of my platforms that actually checked it is from the UK. So thank you for acknowledging them.
Yeah, definitely. How you doing, Anthony?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, James?
You little snaggletooth piece of trash. Anyways,
how do you think he's doing? He was just here like 25 minutes ago. We had Silverwolf, the big bad Silverwolf, not to be confused with the Little Red Riding Wolf, and then we had Skulls the Soul Hunter take his place in history in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, and there was Anthony Steele, the real deal. So, I mean, he was just here, literally. Really, the real deal was here.
I must have been taking a crap or something. I didn't pay attention to that part. I
wasn't big into the Silverwolf technical difficulties there, huh?
We understand, James. You're always full of shit. That's why you got to take a crap. But, James, that's not what we're here.
Oh,
we're
there
here.
We go.
We're here to call round 2 of Anthony Steele versus James Taylor. And while
he left. I mean, James Taylor left, actually. Maybe he doesn't want to see me on the call.
It's the Silverwolf effect. I guess he's got him. But
he's back.
Because the rubber match, as they call it, between James Taylor and Anthony Steele at Resurrection Wrestling was a place to be at that time. It was a match that, was wanted by the fans, was wanted by me and James, because James looked at me and he goes, I stepped in what you called your realm that used to be mine back in the day. So now I want to see how well you can work in a regular match where there is disqualifications, where there is countouts, where you have to basically pin or submit your opponent to prove dominance. And I looked at James and I was like, you know what? Where better than where I was at that time, Resurrection Wrestling, and an 18x18 to show the world that not only is Anthony Steele right up there with James Taylor, but Anthony Steele can work a regular match, because at that point in time, Anthony Steele really wasn't working regular matches. Ever since he left, XCW, I had that trunk match with DJ Wahlberg, taking the title off of him, leaving XCW as the reigning defending New Age champion,
Something tells me Fletch is still not over that one.
That's what I'm saying. Fletch, look, we're going to have a unifying match at that point, because, I'm still technically your New Age champion. Let it be known.
Well, hopefully, maybe if Fletch actually watched Sportswire one of these days, maybe he would actually, come across that. But that's certainly, here nor there. We love Fletch, but obviously that's for a different topic in a different time. But, James Taylor, I see you nodding, and I know, obviously, I was testing that we'll have the screen up here in a couple minutes. But, set the tables for us. Obviously, last week, we saw the first match in TBW, and we saw physicality. We saw a match in a lot of ways incorporated a lot of different things. And I think what we're going to see, but not spoiling it just yet, even though I'm sure most people by now have watched this match, but certainly it's going to be a different type of match. But set the tables for us, James Taylor, and how you're feeling going into this match, knowing that you're up 1-0 so far in this series over the real deal, Anthony Steele.
Well, I mean, he called me out, brought me out of retirement. We went through the first match. We've seen that. We've seen the outcome. I stepped into his world, that he liked to call it, his comfort zone, and I defeated him in his comfort zone. And he said, I want a rematch. I deserve a rematch. And I told him the only way I'd agree is if he did it on my rules. I played by his rules that last time. He's going to play by mine. And that's the only way I'll accept another match. He agreed to it. That was, in my eyes, his mistake. And so I showed up to where he was at to put him to the test to see if he really could stand toe-to-toe with me in a straight wrestling match, one-on-one.
Yeah, this match we're going to see is not the match we saw last week on the air. This is a match, it's going to be very different. So if you saw something, what you liked last week, you're not going to see that. Just a spoiler alert. I'm not going to tell you who wins. in case you're hearing this for the first time, but it's a very different match. And I think it's going to maybe be emphasized on my call. And before we do that, we're actually going to watch the promo that kind of led to this match. And I also want to give a shout out, by the way, to the Promo Wrestling Federation, because you guys had a great show earlier tonight. And by the way, loved Dave Johnson on the call, by the way. Big shout out to Dave Johnson. Hopefully you got that sponsored deal with Pizza Hut. Hopefully you got that deal there with, was it Doritos or Cheetos? I think you guys were
they were eating all types of chips and stuff like that. Last season it was, what was it, Pringles? And now this year it was Fritos.
And Alexander Kelly did a pretty good job on the call, by the way. I got to say, big shout out to Alexander Kelly. He did a really good job on the call there. I mean, I have to say, I was impressed. Paramore, you had to kick things off. I mean, I got to say, I was watching that. I was getting ready for Skulls, and I was like, wow, Promo Wrestling Federation, tag me more for that, because I may not, certainly take part, but I'd be loving to watch more of that, because that was fun.
Nobody puts on a show like what we do for Promo Wrestling Federation, especially in the 2K world. There's a lot of guys that do 2K shows. They do a lot of 2K shows, and they're great. They're fun to watch, but we put on a show like none other. We make it as entertaining as an actual wrestling
I feel like I was watching a real wrestling show. I really was like, I was impressed. There was Anthony Steele wrestling? I was like, wow.
Anthony won the first. Yeah. He made history. He made his debut on Defiance. It was our third annual one in the matter of the 3.5 years we've been alive. And he won the death match championship. And first time ever.
I was like, wow. I was like, you know what? Count me in for watching more of that. I'll tell you what. It was certainly better than what WWE had on A&E biographies. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a chance to watch AEW's pay-per-view with Sting, but I was really more interested in that than what I saw in A&E.
I appreciate it. It was night 1 tonight because all the matches couldn't fit on it. So night 2 is tomorrow night. So if you get bored, come check us out 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on my YouTube.
You know what? I actually think I should be home. You said 7 Central, so I should be back home a little after 8. Yeah, so I'll actually catch some of the show tomorrow because I'm going to be on at 10 with Omen Black, who's, by the way, happy birthday to Omen once again. But Omen's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame for a second time with the House of Wolves. You guys know them very well. And
right?
Yeah. Well, you'll be inducted a second time soon. I promise you. No, seriously, you will be. I promise you will. But Anthony's got to get in first, though. Let Anthony get inducted in a couple weeks. But, I do have a lot of comments. Let me get to the comments before I put the video up on the screen. So I want to say hello to a lot of people here. Yes. And also, as you always do, tag me or let me know when Promo Wrestling Federation goes on, because I will watch that in the background. So
appreciate that.
This man is here, a man that I seem to know pretty well, the Atomic Titan. I want to say hello to Mr. Titan.
I don't know what's so funny, Titan. You stupid little turtleneck bastard.
Well, Omen Black doesn't like the turtlenecks either, so you and Omen have something in common. How you doing, Ethan? Always good to see you. My buddy D'Angelo the Flame. D'Angelo, I'm going to get you on very soon before the 17th. And also want to say hello to Curtis Lee Dolan. Curtis, I know, is also part of PWF. How you doing, Curtis? Curtis, good to see you. And thank you for following me on Instagram. I really appreciate that very much. Atomic wants to point out your hardcore king is here. Respect me, James Taylor. That's how you respect him? Interesting.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay. James Taylor left because his old ass internet couldn't hold up like his old ass in a ring with me. Well, I would say that his internet was still not as bad as the Big Bad Silver Wolf.
No, it was my phone this time because I had the power button where I was trying to call Siri, I guess, because the weight of the phone. So I had to back out and reload it. Now we're here. So I just flipped the phone around. There we go. Woohoo!
Always, yeah, you guys have great matches. I agree. D'Angelo, not much chilling like a villain. What about you? That was cool. I'm recovering from a match. When did you wrestle? I know you wrestled 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. But when did you wrestle this week? Okay, maybe I made something. Maybe there's something I don't know. Alexander Kelly did a great job, by the way, on the call. I really enjoyed Alexander on the call. That's what I want to see more of, Alexander Kelly. That I want to see more from him on. Lockdown, D'Angelo. Yep. Now I popped up some. No, he popped up somewhere new. Do I feel like I know that company? Don't say anything, D'Angelo LaFlame. Now I think I can tie 2 and 2 together. Skippy the Clown, how you doing, Skippy? Going to see you tomorrow on the PWF. I'm looking forward to watching your match because I'm going to watch it before Omen comes on and takes his place in history for a second time.
I don't know what he thinking. He isn't going to take me out tomorrow, but whatever, Skippy.
Sucks I didn't become deathmatch champion. Congratulations, Anthony. Do they give you like a real belt for this? Like, so what happens when you win the deathmatch style? Do you like, what happens? Like, do you?
That's just in the game. It's transition to the game. But there's a project coming up. We'll do. Maybe I'll make a little announcement later on about it. But there's a thing coming up.
Actually, if you want, do you want me to? I can present a certificate on behalf of you. I can give you a certificate, deathmatch champion.
I don't know, Anthony. Is that what you want?
You want?
Maybe we should have
I can make
Tom.
one for you.
Maybe
I'll make it for you tomorrow if you
PWF.
want. I mean, I actually make the certificates on Sportswire, so if you want, I could say Anthony Steele, the PWF deathmatch champion, if you want. Alexander, when are you going to acknowledge your hardcore king? What's good, Tom? I'm doing great. I'm about to call a match. I mean, that's how I can't do anything better. Okay, yeah, I got the idea. Atomic Titan, you should respect me at PWF because I'm the PWF world champion. James Taylor, better respect. Okay, I got the idea and all that, guys. I want to thank you. I can't wait for PWF coverage. So, gentlemen, would it be okay now if I could first of all get ready to present my screen and set the tables for us and watch that promo, which led to round 2, the rubber match between Taylor versus Steele?
Go for it.
Okay, good enough. I had to ask. All right, let me get right to it here. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm going to not call the commentary here. I'm going to let you guys speak, and we're going to do that right about now. So hold on tight. I think I got it here at the right time. Oh, nope. I want to bring it up a little bit closer. Oh, we don't want to see Ronnie Brady's thing here. Sorry, Ronnie Brady, but I'd rather not have Ronnie Brady for now. Okay, we're going to put it on, I think, right now.
You want to full screen it?
Tennessee Backyard Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. And you guys probably wondering why I'm bringing this out to Resurrection, right? Well, it's because I found out there's a certain somebody in the back who's been ducking and dodging me for months, wanted to still play in the Bounce House Backyard Wrestling.
You want to move the banner, Mr. Tom?
So, James,
look how long his hair was. He needed a haircut.
No, grow the hair. Look at my hair.
Still calling out James Taylor.
I really do. I really do. Oh, dude.
You got some long hair.
Dude,
hey, you almost had hair like Tom.
I said, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is James Taylor.
It's probably your mouthwash. You know, clear your mouth for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Look at you. Your little jacket on out there in that 100-degree heat.
cut his shitty ass music.
Fuck you.
Remember that? Oh, yeah, I remember it. Dude, I remember the last time me and you stepped in the ring together, it was in that company. Should have been for this. But obviously, TBW doesn't know what good wrestling is or a good-ass fucking championship. But you know what I know? What I know is, what I remember is you took a cheap shot at the end of that match. You're supposed to be this man that everyone fears. What I've come to learn is they don't fear you, they disrespect you. Because you're one disrespectful son of a bitch, aren't you? That's what you brought me out here for? No, what I brought you out here for is to settle the score. You've been running your mouth over social media, thinking and saying, oh, there's going to be an Anthony Steele versus James Taylor part 2. And yeah, there is. I want it tonight. You want it your style, you're facing me in mine. You got the upper hand. Congratulations. Still wear the scar.
Still
I'm
wearing
gonna
the
tell you
scar.
this. I made a promise to you last time that I was gonna send your ass packing back home with your girl for her to take care of you. This time, I'm gonna send your ass packing back to Alabama, and she's gonna take you to the hospital. So I came all the way here to Mississippi because you jump states like a prostitute in church. So I come all the way here to hear you run your mouth because you just can't get my name out of your mouth. So if it's a match you want, Jack.
Hey, I had to make my name, man.
Sign and seal it.
Just
Let
stay.
Resurrection make it happen, and I'll come right out here tonight. And just like I did at season finale, I'll pin you 1, 2, 3. Let me guess, because there can't be no other way, right?
Well, yeah.
Right? Take the jacket
Oh, look,
off.
he's
You look like
he's
you're
wearing one of my
sweating a little
shirts,
bit.
Tom.
You're nervous
I
because I'm
see it.
standing right here. I get that. What I think about the notorious James Taylor, you gone soft, bucko. You've been hanging around with those fools too long. But what I've been hanging around with is professionals. I stand in that back. And trust me, I've whooped their ass.
He should have got the in there with the camera a little bit better, my opinion.
So tonight,
Oh, hat's coming
These
off.
cameras are far better than Resurrection. Can I just say it on the record?
so is that match happening?
Sorry, guys.
Is
I
this
love
match
this.
really going to take place between James Taylor and
You're not
The
wrong.
match is on.
The match is on.
Well, if that's the case, I'm gonna give you a chance to earn your redemption. You want to sign and seal it? Sign and seal it. Fake. Sign. The record's gonna read James Taylor 2. Sign. Anthony Steele 0. Sign. You all right with that? Sure.
And Steele certainly.
He thought he was gonna get a fast one on me. He thought I didn't remember in the season finale. He thought I didn't remember the end of
Yeah,
the
you don't like them stunners, do you?
You see the way I knew extending my hand to you would have been where you would have tried to take that cheap shot yet again. I made that mistake of trusting you in season finale, but I thought, maybe a man can change. Maybe he can actually respect what I do. And with that, you try to play the same cheap shot, the same old James Taylor. So I got smart. And I made sure that it didn't happen again. Because I wanted everything to wait for this match. This match that we are about to watch. I wanted everyone to see that when James Taylor can't have the upper hand, when James Taylor can't take cheap shots, what happens?
Yep, well, I guess we're about to find out, huh?
Maybe Anthony Steele learned from what happened at season finale when we saw you guys in the ring last. Maybe that's something that maybe Steele, with now gaining more experience in the ring, he certainly referenced his run in XCW, and maybe that gives him an upper hand. We'll have to find out, certainly. And somebody did kind of echo my comment, by the way, about Skippy said about the camera.
Yeah.
The camera wasn't very great.
You're about to call the match, Tom. Give you a little FYI on something with the climate real quick. First match, it was in 22-degree weather.
And this was what, 102?
This was about 100, 102, something like that.
You
so
know, it's funny.
We've both wrestled together in freezing fucking temperatures and super hot temperatures. So that only means that maybe one day our third the rubber match will hopefully be normal temperatures.
I would say so if we got to split the baby in half, 60 degrees. I think 60. Now, let me ask you guys a question, actually. It's an interesting point. As we're here on Sportswire Radio, about to call the rematch between Anthony Steele and James Taylor. Basically, I promise you, this will be better than Holyfield and Lewis, Tyson Holyfield, Ali Frazier, Foreman Ali. Forget about all of them. This one's going to be one for the ages. But let me ask you guys a question. In what is perfect weather in the yard? Is it 75? Is it 65, 50? What is the perfect weather for you guys to wrestle in the yard?
I mean, the way we just showed you at season finale and what you're about to witness here, it doesn't matter what type of weather is going on. When me and James enter that ring, we have one thing in common and one mission only, and that is to put on the best fucking wrestling match there is.
Yeah, but aren't there guys that might want, let's say, 60 degrees, 65? They don't want to deal with the humidity.
Put want in one hand and shit in the other. That's what my mom always said.
That's you, but like me, personal preference, I'd like it between 60 and 70. Anywhere in there is my perfect range to wrestle all day.
I figured that you would have had that answer. I had never really answered that question. Well, actually, I think I did once. I did one time with the DKW guys, but before I call the match, Mr. Titan wants to be reminded that to you guys that you both suck and that you're scared of the hard work.
Titan. Okay, here we go. Hey James, let's take a trip down memory lane. Who's the first guy that I beat in TBW? Oh yeah, that was Atomic Titan when he was World Heavyweight Champion. How am I afraid to scare you, homie? How am I scared to face you?
I like to go on record that I've beaten him too.
Dude, we both beaten you. We put your little ass down, man. Come on, man.
You guys do have some history. And I want to say hello, first of all, to my buddy, Mr. Ace Reed. And by the way, I want to break the news here. Ace Reed going into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame next weekend. He's going to be into our Hall of Fame Saturday night. I think we're going to have him on around 11 o'clock Eastern time. So that'll be, I think, 3 o'clock his time or somewhere around that time range for the next day. So Ace has got a big show coming up at BW. And he's a great host, by the way. Ace is definitely the host with the most. And Ace, if I do retire, I definitely want Ace to be the guy to replace him because Ace has had some great interviews. And he's a guy that I hear has got a really big interview coming up real soon. And I'm not going to spoil it because it's going to be a really big interview I heard through the grapevine. But Ace, nice to see you. And Skippy wants to say, try to play football in a rainstorm when the mud is on top of your knees. I've been there in high school. Yeah, yep. I can imagine that. But all right, so gentlemen, I think I'm going to get ready to put the match on and kind of set the tables first because I'm excited. I hope you're at home excited. And let's get to it because this has been on my mind all day, all week. And let's now put it on and get you ready. And we're going to put that button on right now. And ladies and gentlemen, we are about to set the tables here between the Nemesis James Taylor and the real deal Anthony Steele. So operatives, sit back and enjoy the ride. And obviously, we are waiting for both men to come out. And here he is, the real deal, Anthony Steele, whose resume is certainly become as long as his hair since the last time James Taylor and Anthony Steele squared off. And look at Anthony Steele. If you always notice one thing about Anthony Steele, always got those Jordans. He's always rocking those Jordans, even though, most guys would go out there and put on some old pair of boots or some sneakers and he still got them on. There is nobody, I think, that looks the flyest in the ring other than Anthony Steele. There is nobody as fly as him in the ring. It doesn't matter the circumstance. Doesn't matter if he's gone through light tubes, if he's been put through cars, he's been put through all through the ringer, but he's in the ring. He is getting ready to see if he can even the score in the rubber match, and we are waiting. The man that is certainly a backyard wrestling legend, a man that has done it all from the TWF to the TBW operatives. It is the Nemesis, James Taylor, who's looking at the crowd here at Resurrection Wrestling, and he's maybe not sure if he's in a friendly confine here. Have to say, last time in TBW, it seemed like the Nemesis might have had the home ring advantage or the home yard advantage. But in this case, maybe in a way, it goes to the real deal, Anthony Steele, but James Taylor is certainly talking to the crowd. He's mouthing. I don't know who he's mouthing to. Is it to Ronnie Brady, the Russ Memphis Kid? Is it to certainly Jacoby or maybe Dustin Alexander or Joseph Tibbs? But I tell you what, we are getting ready. Interesting here we see in this match that our referee is actually checking the shoes of both men. That's something maybe to keep an eye on here throughout this match. We didn't see that the first time that these guys squared off back in Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, but we are getting ready for match time, and Steele, as confident as always, throws his shirt to the ring.
You see who that was, right, James? Straight to your lady. That because she knew what was going on. But you saw at the beginning of this when he walked in. When I walked in, I wiped my feet, showing respect for the people before me. James just walked in thinking like he owned everything.
Well, he's certainly thinking that maybe his, at the time, YouTube Resident Evil video, but these men lock up. They have locked up, and, Steele's got the size advantage, the strength advantage, and Taylor is never going to win an advantage with this when it comes to these two men grappling. And now we see Taylor kind of mouthing off here. The veteran, maybe rattled a little bit right now. He tries to go back and do the same thing, and he gives Taylor gives Steele a little bit of his own medicine here, but still Steele very confident. And boy, the nemesis James Taylor certainly give you that Texas twang, that Texas attitude, and he is certainly mouthing off. But interesting part because, last time we saw you guys in the ring, it was more of, let's say, a fast pace, almost just go out, and it was almost rock 'em, sock 'em. Now, so far, we're seeing more of a kind of a mat-based start here. I don't know if maybe Taylor's rattled here. Anthony Steele, was this certainly by design by you to kind of maybe see if you could get the nemesis James Taylor off his game? Because this is not what we're used to, especially when we saw you guys square off back in Tennessee.
Exactly, man. See, that was the thing going in here. He wanted to see if I can work technical, a straight wrestling match. And, walking in, I showed him that I can do just as much as he could in a straight-up wrestling match, and it kind of took him off guard for a minute.
He seems rattled right now. I'm not used to the veteran Taylor being rattled like this here. I mean, we certainly see Taylor and those, birds. I mean, the birds don't certainly, fly and give you the, the ability to go and attack. But he's got him here almost in a headlock. He hit little toss there, and he's got him a little bit from behind in a hold, and we'll see if Taylor can keep that on for a little while. But Steele is a veteran, and he's got the size advantage, and he's got the strength, and he can certainly get out of that if he wants to from that headlock. But Taylor continues to work the head there. He's got another headlock there, and maybe moves him back to the ropes. But, again, Steele's strength is going to easily get out of that. And we see kind of almost a test of strength there a little bit. It's an interesting start. I mean, the nemesis James Taylor, are you rattled right now so far in this match? Because it seems to me we're not used to you working this kind of pace.
Well, the heat was getting to me. That's all.
I can see that. We see another hip drag.
Anthony smelled like crap, and it was upsetting me a little bit. It was burning my nostrils, so I was just, I got a little sweat. His armpit sweat.
Taylor here kind of working the typical heel here, and
you see how he was like outside the ring, because when we locked up, I put him in that headlock.
And he had the Triple H tactic there with the water over his head and kind of going back outside and waiting for the ref to count a bit. I mean, that's
get the sweat out of my eye.
See, I flung him across the ring, and then he had to roll out because he knew that strength advantage
Came into play. Comes back in the ring. But Steele right now has got all the advantages in the world right now. You look at you look at the tail of the tape. And the size, I mean, Steele's got at least, I would say, 5 inches on the nemesis James Taylor, like about 4 or 5 inches, it looks like, from here. But, we're going to try this, and Anthony Steele's going to win this every time. But James Taylor kicks Anthony Steele in the gut, and he's working those legendary punches, those punches that maybe are the best in the yard. And now we see Taylor get back a little bit, some of his offense, and regain some of that. But Anthony Steele is not having any of that. But Steele gets hurt there a little bit there. Steele's hurt from maybe the offense there. Maybe, I don't know if it was something that just...
He don't know how to duck. That's why.
Well, he's down for the count right now. This is the first time we've seen Anthony Steele down so far. He's got down to one knee, and James Taylor is now working it a little bit now. He's got it be right where he wants him, working on those famous nemesis punches. Operatives, watch how James Taylor punches and kicks. Arguably some of the best punches, some of the best kicks in this business. He's been going strong since 98 or 99, depending on who you say. Now, Taylor kind of composes himself in the dead heat of Mississippi. Everybody heat. It's brutal, and Taylor's working him. There he goes here, and he works him back on the ground. Maybe he gives Anthony Steele a little dose of his own medicine here, but now he's going to work the ankles a little bit here, and now we see a little bit of maybe an arm elbow to the knee there a little bit. Maybe James Taylor kicking Anthony Steele again, more of those elbows into the knees, and that's going to certainly wear down Anthony Steele, and that comes in handy because we know Anthony Steele relies heavily on his legs when it comes to that big boot, it comes to that claymore, and to all those types of kicks that he uses in his arsenal. So smart here by James Taylor, using his elbow and other forms of his body to kind of work on the knees of Anthony Steele. Now, James Taylor, was that kind of a strategy here, kind of maybe work and wear down the real deal Anthony Steele's legs? Because he's got some of the best legs in the business, some of the best kicks. We know what
he's a tall bastard, so I was trying to chop the redwood down and also keep him from using that claymore on me later.
Timber! Wait a minute. And there we go. Anthony Steele. Now, you see Taylor's got him maybe where he wants him, even though Steele's coming back because Steele is limping. That's something to pay attention on throughout the match.
As big as he is, Tom, and anybody watching this, as big as you are, you ain't gonna win.
The harder they fall. And
you
now
ain't gonna win a slugfest with me.
What happened there? Anthony Steele, I mean, tell us what happened there. I mean,
dude, I don't know what happened. I think I hit the rope wrong. My back started to give out real quick, and I was
that from a loose cannon promo or what? Was maybe that was
like all I know is I hit that rope, I hit that clothesline, and then my back, just something in my back just like sent a sharp pain up my spine. And I tried to keep fighting it off. But then again, like every time he was working on my back and my legs this entire match, man.
Well,
like
he's got him now, right? You know, Anthony, you're not in control anymore because James Taylor's the one in control right now. And we see that the veteran Taylor now goes back outside. And interesting move, though, because I would think if I'm the veteran Taylor, I want to work right back on Anthony Steele because you got him down right where you want him. So interesting strategy here from the nemesis James Taylor.
I got no excuses. I wasn't 100%. I should have been on him. But
a veteran like you, James Taylor, would have expected kind of what we saw last week when we were calling Omen Black's match with Matthew Forsaken and Damian Saint, where both guys had Omen Black down for minutes and we had Anthony Steele down for about a minute, and you kind of let him recover a little bit, especially in the Mississippi Heat. But now we see those punches, those legendary punches. Now we see James Taylor, maybe you're going to go suplex Anthony Steele out on the outside, but no, Steele blocks it. And it looks like Taylor now is going to try some other form of offense. And he goes, slams him right into that ring post, that unforgiving ring post there of Resurrection Wrestling. If you like what you hear from us on Sportswire Radio, hit that sub button on Sportswire Radio 6579. And maybe tomorrow I'll call the match since he's here of Omen Black and Anthony Steele. After all, Omen Black is inducted into the Hall of Fame. So why not? Why not we call Omen Black versus Anthony Steele live? So you're going to want to tune in for that one. Maybe Anthony Steele, maybe not doing tomorrow anything, Anthony Steele. Maybe you want to hear me talk about Omen Black with you in that match we saw just about a year ago in the IMF. Something you might want to tune into for. But Anthony Steele starts to recover and looks like maybe some karate chops there. Karate chops maybe turns into a suplex. You got it. That's a suplex. And James Taylor, the veteran Taylor, the older veteran there. Taylor's down from that. 1, 2. Ooh, that's our first count, by the way. First count of the match. And now you can see, look at Taylor. Pay attention to Taylor because Taylor's hurting there. Taylor is in significant pain. How much pain are you in right now, Anthony from Anthony Steele's suplex?
I'm probably about a 4.
Okay.
That suplex.
Not quite
got me up in the air. I was about 10 feet in the air.
Now, not quite a 10 from the pain of hearing a loose cannon promo, right?
Yeah. It wasn't that painful. That forearm didn't feel good. Watch this.
And Anthony Steele comes right back at him, and he gets a little bit of maybe there's the kick. There's that boot. That boot. Kevin Nash has nothing on that boot these days. And Anthony Steele goes for the senton. Senton bomb, the traditional senton from Steele, and the real deal's got him right where he wants him. Get that cover. Come on. 1, 2. Ooh, I would say about a 2.5 there. Steele gets another shortfall there.
1, 2. Shoulder up. Sorry, buddy.
Steele's the one that's down, maybe from the senton. That pain.
My back was on fire.
And he's certainly on the fire from the heat from the mat in Mississippi, because that is unforgiving heat out there in Mississippi. That is dry, brutal heat there. That is definitely unforgiving, and that is
actually humid, sticky heat is what that was.
Oof. That's definitely some of the heat that we get here in the Big Apple back in July and August. So that'll be in a few months from now. So maybe I'm complaining about the cold now a few days ago, but I maybe won't be complaining about it so much when we have 90 and 70% humidity in about July and August from now. But Anthony Steele is down, and James Taylor's got him right where he wants.
Can I get him up?
Can he? He's got the size, and he gets him for that suplex. And boy, that suplex. Look at Steele. Steele right now is feeling a lot of steel from the pain from James Taylor. The Tyrant King is reigning supreme right now, operatives. And James Taylor is going up onto the high rent district, and he's about to do it, and he gets that elbow drop. And boy, shades of that rattlesnake Stone Cold Steve Austin, and James Taylor is doing it just as good as anybody else. He's almost got him there. I mean, certainly operatives. I mean,
1, 2, shoulder up.
Just up. I would say about 2 2/3, gentlemen. But
Do you notice? Do you notice how I put that weight on his arm to keep that arm from coming up, but then he used the other one? So
but Taylor kind of again wasted more time and kind of was just pacing leisurely there. I would think if I'm Taylor, especially after the success I had in the first match, I would have run right back to it. But kind of a double clothesline there, and both men are down. Now the referee should start that count. I'll do it for you. 1, 2. Start the count. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Actually, only right at 7.
8,
Oh, where'd we go?
9. What are we waiting for? Somebody. I mean, this should honestly this should have ended in a double count out, right? Or basically no contest because both men are down. I mean, I don't know what was the referee officiating here in Resurrection, but this match should have ended. But there you go, both gentlemen.
I tried.
You get these double kicks up at the same time. I don't know if we're ever going to see that again. Certainly from James Taylor's standpoint, but boy, Anthony Steele is a house of fire right now, similar to the People's Champion, The Rock himself. And boy, here comes Anthony Steele, the real deal, and he's feeling it right now. He's getting ready for those kicks to be used. Maybe it's Claymore time. I don't know. Maybe it's Big Boot time. But it looks like here he's got a nice little kind of maybe side knee kick there, and it goes ready. 1, 2. Another referee. You have to wonder here. Referee very slow. I mean, you have to wonder for our friends in Resurrection. You got to get better officiating because the referee is not very good right now in this match. It should have ended in a 10, or maybe it should have ended in an Anthony Steele victory right after that one here. But Steele is kind of feeling here. Look at him clutching his left knee. I don't know if it's from that side kick. Maybe it's from the big boot earlier. But Steele is starting to feel some pain. Maybe his body parts aren't made of steel after all, but he's getting ready. Is it time? Is it Claymore time? James Taylor slow gets up and wait a minute. Could it have been a side kick? But stunner! Stunner! The best stunner actively in the business. Some would say Soldier GP certainly has a strong argument as well. But James Taylor, what are you doing here? This match should have ended. 1, 2, 3. Oh, smart move by Steele. That's somebody.
Ring awareness.
That shows you that he's worked in XCW, shown that he's worked in NGPW, shown that he's done a lot in TBW, because that's a smart move and that keeps him right in the match. And Anthony Steele is alive and well, and he gives himself a chance, maybe, to come back in this match. But James Taylor has controlled the last 5 or 6 minutes. And look at the veteran Nemesis, though. Is the Nemesis tired? Is he trying to maybe bide himself some time for one more comeback? But
I was suffocating.
You have to wonder with the Nemesis, who thought he had Anthony Steele done. But you have to be reminded of what we saw in TBW when it took those 3 stunners in a row. But can James Taylor get him up one more time? No. Is it a choke slam time? Taylor's fighting it. Choke slam. He is down. Certainly Kane and The Undertaker would be envious of that, but Anthony Steele with the choke slam from hell, and that Mississippi Heat certainly felt like hell, fire, and brimstone. And James Taylor is down, but Anthony Steele, you had him. You got to drag his carcass and get that count because James Taylor is down. He is done. He is done like hell, fire, and brimstone, or a loose cannon promo. Certainly, come on here, Anthony Steele. It may be time to fire up that Claymore. Is it time? No, he misses it. Taylor, kick, stunner. And wait, and we know we saw this in TBW. One more. Is it one more for the road? And Steele can't get down. Oh, man, Anthony Steele, certainly you cannot get him down, but he's finally got him for that stunner. But James Taylor, what are you doing there? James Taylor, you had to turn over, and you would have had the 3 count. And now you've given Anthony Steele enough time to come back and stay alive. He is staying alive like John Travolta famously did in that movie that was shot not too far from where I grew up back in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. But now we've got the count. 1, 2. And again, Anthony Steele, I don't know if you were down. I don't know what the officiating was, but I will tell you this much. James Taylor, you had this match won, and you basically a veteran mistake there from a veteran. Yeah. You might be kicking
Rookie
yourself.
Rookie mistake on my part.
That could be like a Drake Silverwolf maybe a promo when he comes back to Sportswire. But now is it a stunner? No. Steele blocks it. Claymore! Claymore, and Steele is feeling it. Steele knows he's got to get another one here. Can he get one more? One more in there. He's got that Claymore, the best in the business aside from Drew, and he's feeling it like Drew is right now at the Chamber going into Mania. Anthony Steele's got him. Another. That's the trio. 3 in a row. He's got 3 Claymores in a row. He is feeling it, but you've got to cover him. Get there. Come on. 1, 2. Oh, 2 9/10. Anthony Steele, you were feeling it. You had connected 3 Claymores in a row. This match should have been all she wrote, kind of in a way like a big bad Silver Wolf versus loose cannon match. It should have been all done in 1, 2, 3 and forgotten in the history books. But Anthony Steele trying to do it one more time. Oh, Taylor ducks it. No, he ducks the stunner. And Claymore! Claymore! Steele's got the Claymore! Cover him! Cover him! Cover him! Come on! 1, 2, 3! And now Anthony Steele, the real deal, has evened the score. It's 1-1. Anthony Steele has proven why he is the real deal, as he proved that he could beat the nemesis James Taylor at his own game. We saw the first match last week, and it was certainly a style that we didn't expect. But tonight, it looked like, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Steele beat James. Wait a minute. Taylor is getting up. Now, what happened last time was we saw the stunner from the nemesis James Taylor. Will we see a Claymore from Steele? They're talking about it. They're thinking about it. It's a handshake. And wow, what a class of sportsmanship there. Give it up to the veteran Taylor. Taylor, who last week didn't show that veteran kind of classy sportsmanship, and he stunnered Anthony Steele after Anthony Steele extended his hand. But this time, we see a sign of respect. Is it a sign of maybe passing the torch? Is it a sign of things to come? I don't know. But I know, ladies and gentlemen, that was a classic. That was one for the ages, and we'll see Omen Black next time. But ladies and gentlemen, that was definitely one for the ages. It was definitely a different match. Now I'm going to bring you gentlemen in. So first of all, what did you think about me on the call compared to, let's say, Joseph Tibbs and Nigel, and actions on watching this match back?
10 times better. 10 times better.
It's good.
It was.
Oh, I appreciate that. So you actually liked me on the call, by the way. Thank you very much.
100%. It was. You knew what you were doing. You knew what you were talking about. It didn't sound like a 4th grader who just like picked up a book and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna read."
I might be a 4th. I actually might have a 4th grade education, but I'm only kidding.
But no, like the thing I like about this is, I get to relive history with James, and then to hear you call the match, it was an honor. It was actually an honor for one reason only, is because when we do stuff like this and we get to see, both sides. Like you said, last week you saw the street fight at season finale. Then this week you saw, the regular one-on-one match between James Taylor and Anthony Steele.
No frills wrestling match.
And then, you get to witness it firsthand. You get to call it the way you see it, and getting actual feedback. Feedback is the best thing that I've learned about wrestling in general, is whether it's good or bad, feedback is always necessary, because it betters not only me, but I bet James can, agree to this. It betters James too when we get other people's opinions on what they saw and how they interpreted the match that we performed.
What do you say to that, James?
I agree 100%. I mean, feedback's always good, positive or negative feedback. I get a lot of negative feedback in my career, but I also get a lot of positive.
Sportzwire, you are 2023 Personality of the Year.
I know. I wouldn't be if I didn't get the negativity, and I'm glad for it. It used to bother me 3-4 years ago, even 10 years ago. You need to figure out who you are and quit thinking you're Triple H or Stone Cold. Okay, I got you. All right. But all that negativity just fueled me more to be who I am today, because I really don't give a shit about anybody. Sounds selfish, maybe, but at the same time, I I just stopped giving a damn about what other people think because they're going to say whatever they're going to want to say. That's fine. When you get in the ring with me, earn my respect, and maybe I'll earn yours. I mean, I don't know, but
all right. Let me ask you guys. Let me ask you guys this question. In watching the match, it was certainly a different pace, and in that pace, do you feel that you changed anything, or was there anything in looking back that you would have did differently in that match?
Yes, I would have.
What would you like to have done different aside from?
I mean, straight up, I was disappointed in myself. It was no offense, Anthony. It was a shit ass match. Not on his cake. It was more me. I was very disappointed.
Why would you say it was a poor? Why would you say it was a poor match?
So
I mean, compared to Loose Cannon, it was a 10.
Oh yeah, that's different. But for my, I'm a perfectionist, I guess, in some aspects. But I wrestled maybe 2 months after Anthony left, and then I had a whole time. I was off for like 6 months. He'd been a little bit more active than me, not pointing fingers or nothing. But I was really ring rusty. And
but he's traveled though. I mean, he's been a Jack Delta. It's him, Jack Delta, Aaron Blaze, and before Law went to XCW, they were the traveling guys. He gonna totally have a different perspective in who his opponents are than you.
Yeah. Excuse me. Anyways,
I know the Loose
Cannon.
I know the Big Bad Silver Wolf promo put you to sleep.
It was born to shit out of me. Yeah. In my mind, that day, leading up to that match, I was 100%. I knew I was very confident in what I could do in my ability, but physically, I was lying to myself. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready at all. But I wanted to give Anthony the match. I wanted to do the match, no matter how I felt, and went in there and did it. So, Anthony, my bad. I didn't give you 100%. I felt like I gave you half of me. And that's not fair to you. And that's why I think we really deserve the rubber match, whenever we can do it, because that match taught me to be more prepared for the next time. And that's for any match that I go into. If you look at months later, when I came back to TBW and I had my match with Prophet, completely different aspect.
And we watched that match here. Listen, we watched it, and we watched you with Jack Delta. I mean, there was certainly a different pace. You looked fresher in the ring. I mean, it was certainly point to the match. I don't know if I should ask you before I come back to Anthony. Were you gassed at all?
Who, me?
Were you gassed?
100% I was.
You looked like there were spots in the match that you waited. I said you were biding time. You know, Anthony's obviously, he works more matches.
He was in better ring shape that day than I was. That's not on him. That's on me. He was doing his part, but at the same time, he got injured in the match a little bit.
There was the match where he was holding his leg. There's the spot where he was holding when he had the side knee move. He wound up, I think about a minute later, he was holding the side. Then also, the suplex. There was you got suplex. Your back was hurt. I asked you that. I think you conversely had the same thing. And the senton bomb. You senton bombed him. And then Anthony was holding the other side of his back from the senton.
The move that hurt me the most in that was that choke slam.
I was gonna ask you that.
It was hell. It was hellfire and brimstone. I would have to imagine.
He gave me a cane-like choke slam.
And also that mat in Mississippi had to have felt 200 degrees.
Oh yeah, easy. So yeah, I'm in there cooking. I'm sweating my ass off. I'm gassed. He's hurt with his ankle and his back. So we were both miserable, but we still went out there and did what we love to do and gave 100% of what we could and put on the match that we did. But I can promise you this, and this is for the world, Anthony Steele versus James Taylor 3, when it happens, whenever it happens, I promise you that is going to be the match that everybody talks about. What did Rock say in his match with Austin? Match one, take one, take two, they don't matter. The only one that matters that everyone remembers is Act 3. And I promise you, in Act 3, you're going to be like, that's probably the greatest wrestling match, wrestling match of all time.
Anthony, I want to ask you, we heard James's side. For you, was there anything that you would have did differently in that match?
I mean, yeah, as he said, I kind of dodged his clothesline a little wonky.
Yes, yeah, you did.
I'll say it was the first time I fought a dude his size that I had to duck a clothesline. And so I was sitting there. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And then my legs kind of like intertwined. And then when I shot back off, like once my back hit that rope, it hit the middle rope and like hard. And then when I shot back
you were
off,
touching your back. Yep.
yeah. Once I shot off and hit him with that clothesline, dude, I felt it. I 100% felt it. And like I said,
Like the double clothesline spot where both you guys went down. Yep.
The first one, when I dodged his clothesline, came back, hit him with the clothesline, like at the beginning of the match.
Yes, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's when it happened. But like I said, my number one thing is making sure my opponent's all right. Making sure that he's okay, he can still continue. And back onto the chokeslam, I'm glad James brought this up because he looked at me and I was like, "We're gonna do a chokeslam spot," and he goes, "All right." So when I gave him the chokeslam, when he hit, all I heard was, and he rolled out. And then when I went over to, grab him up, I looked at him. I was like, "You good?" And he goes, "I didn't release my breath, so all the air came out of my body." And so I was like,
I said, give me a minute. Give me another minute.
Yeah, because I was like, dude, I killed him. I thought I killed him. I was like, dude was gasping for air, and I was like, oh no. But it made for a good spot. Everyone loved that chokeslam spot. Everyone that's seen that match beforehand, has hit me up. And then, the number one thing that, people talked about is, like you said, the triple stunner. The triple stunner spot, that's how season finale ended. And, like I said, I learned. I learned from my mistakes.
But wouldn't it have been poetic if it was the triple claymores that ended it?
One thing I can say about James, and I'm gonna take some of his terminology, is he's one tough son of a bitch.
Listen, I mean, the fact that he got up from it and he still was trying to get the stunner in. I mean, it was like I thought that it was going to be poetic that you would have gotten. I've watched the match obviously before, but to have the triple claymores 3 in a row, the trio, you got him in. That would have been poetic, and yet James got out of it, and
I barely got out, but my heart was
9/10. I think I said on the call 2 9/10, and it was 2 9/10. But
James is one of those people. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Is probably the best in-ring worker I've faced so far.
I think he's got the best punches. James, I will say this: your punches. I was saying that those punches. I mean, those punches and those kicks in the gut. I mean, they are some of the best. I mean, pound for pound. I mean, certainly, Loose Cannon, Silver Wolf, and anybody else combined couldn't do a good punch like that.
I hate seeing this in the ring.
If I put Tyler Ark, Silver Wolf, and Loose Cannon together for a punch, I don't think it still connects. Like
Anthony, he's wrestled a lot of guys, and they've all given him right hands of their own. But I think hopefully, he'd say it that mine were the best that he ever took. Probably hurt the most, but I don't know.
Let me ask you now. Let me ask you this: when the match ended, wouldn't it have been poetic if Anthony, you would have gave him a claymore?
My whole thing, respect.
Right, but you went to do that in TBW, and he stunned you.
See, the way I learned it is leading up. James, like he said tonight, in order to get respect, you got to earn it. And I was. At the start, I was the cocky guy leading in the season finale. I told him he was washed up. I brought him back just so I can put him down. And me and him had that spectacular match season finale. I went to shake his hand. Thought I earned his respect that night. Obviously, I didn't. So then leading into that match at Resurrection, when I picked him up, I was like, all right, I'm going to see if I earned his respect. That's why I didn't initially lend my hand out. He lended his first, and I was like, and that's why I was a little hesitant. I was like, okay, hold on. I'm not trying to get...
I when I called it, I was waiting for the moment where, he was going to try something, or you were going to claymore him, basically, just to say, okay, now we're even.
See, again, respect, man. I respect James. I respect his in-ring capabilities. I respect the matches that we've put on. And, like you said, match number 3 is going to be the groundbreaking
rubber match.
It's going to be the groundbreaking match between me and
Well, it's the rubber match. It's 1-1. I mean, it's the rubber match.
He's going to the world's going to see while James has been taking his time off, doing what he's doing.
I know CW, you've been in the independents. I mean, I feel like, honestly, it's now or never. You guys have to have this match this year. To me, like, I don't know. I don't want to wait. I don't want to be like Undertaker and Sting, and we have to wait and think about what ifs. I don't want to have to think like we waited all those years for Stone Cold to do one more match. I don't want to have the what ifs. I think that, to me, as a fan, leave aside knowing you guys, having you guys on the platform, like, I think that we got to have it like this summer.
I
don't know where it would be. I don't know if it's in Iowa. I don't know if it's in Ohio. I don't know if it's in TBW. I don't know if I'm even allowed to say that at this point with you. I mean, I don't know if it should be, really, I don't know where.
Hey, James. So there's an event that I've been hearing for a minute. My name is Summer Bash. And
but at this Summer Bash, Soldier GP wants to fight me so bad.
Well, I was going to suggest, if there was a way, Hillbilly Tilly is on here Wednesday. Could I ask if there would be a way to have this in Alabama? Special attraction match? Would that interest you?
Only in a ring, not on a freaking gym mat.
But AWL is going to have a ring, apparently. That's the deal. They're going to have the ring.
I don't think after what's happened over the past couple of weeks between me and a certain somebody, I don't think it'd be wise for me to go there because
you don't think if we had an attraction match, there was a special match?
They wouldn't promote it, Tom. They wouldn't promote it.
Well, we'll promote it on Sportswire.
Yeah, you'll promote it. That would be great. That would be awesome. That'd be ideal.
Will promote it.
With a guy like that who runs that company, they don't care.
Well, would you want to have it in Wisconsin with the Big Bad Silver Wolves company? He'll take you guys right now. I'll give you the red carpet. Moving on.
Dennis, I'm gonna throw it out right now. Can I say something?
You can say anything you want. You're the Nemesis James Taylor. I'm wearing your freaking shirt. Of course you can.
I'm saying it right now. Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. James Taylor is asking for one thing and one thing only. It started there. Let us finish it there. No ill will, no problems, just straight business, straight entertainment. People make mistakes. People move on. People grow up. Things happen. Things get said. But everything can be forgiven and things can move on. Let Anthony Steele face James Taylor in the third and final match one more time where it all started, because it only makes sense for the wrestling world. It only makes sense for people on this platform. And in my eyes, it only makes sense for these two guys who are entertainers, who all they want to do is put on one of the best wrestling matches and bring in all the views they can. Okay, that's just my pitch to you. So if you watch this now or you watch this in the future, that's up to you on what you say. But I'm saying that right now. Whether it's going to happen, I don't know, Tom. But all I could do is just say it and hope and pray that it will happen somehow. Whether it's in TBW or somewhere else, the match is going to happen. But it would only in a sort of way, just it would be the icing on the cake. Don't you agree, Tom?
Oh, can I be honest? Because I actually, speaking of things, you want announcements, and I want to say hello to my buddy Big Tex, who's going to be here, I believe, next weekend. Speaking of that, and we love TBW on Sportswire. You know that it would certainly be a dream to see you and Anthony Steele one more time in TBW. I actually have a package. Speaking of packages here, that very well could be something from our friends at Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. And I think I should open it on the air. And maybe this will be a clue that we should have this match in Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. So I'm going to open this package.
Oh, the anticipation is just getting me in my toenails. Anthony, what do you think about my little pitch idea while Tom opens his package?
TBW.
Oh, we got a receipt. Oh, hold on before you say anything. What have we got here? It's black. It's a black T-shirt. It says support Backyard Wrestling TBW. Is that the front of the shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Put it down a little bit, boss man. A little bit. There you go. Right up a little more. There it is. Is that it? Is there anything on the other side? Oh man, that's so damn cheap. Anthony ain't even putting nothing on the back. At least I got something on my back. I'm just kidding. But hey, that's pretty good. Support Backyard Wrestling. That's right. So guys, take that pitch that you just sent to him. Take that slogan. Support Backyard Wrestling. This is what the fans would want. Go through all the periodic bullshit, all that stupid crap. Let it go and let this match happen because the fans would want it.
You know what? I must finally speak on this. James Taylor, Anthony Steele, like you said, started in Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. TBW, I've said it on a prior podcast with Tom. I'm gonna say it again. No ill will, man. I know things happen. Tensions got a little high. People said some things that should have been said. But like I said, it's 2024 now. I'm a changed man. Y'all are some changed men. And the world wants to see the Nemesis James Taylor versus the real deal Anthony Steele one last time. And James, let's make it a little bigger. Just hear me out. And this is another, request from TBW. Why don't we have this? It's a two-parter. Why don't we have James Taylor versus Anthony Steele at TBW Anniversary 2024? And if it's going to be the third match, one fall apiece, right? You have one on me, I have one on you. Let's go back to anniversary last year, James. You fought Jay Wild in what match?
And a 2 out of 3 falls match.
2 out of 3 falls, right?
A 3 stages of hell match.
Three stages of hell. Anthony Steele wants that. You have one on me, I have one on you, and let's do this. Match number 1, normal, regular fight. Match number 2, street fight. Match number 3, if it goes to the third round. As you can see, both of us were left standing at the end, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, that means there's only going to need to be one last man standing.
Uh-huh.
So, TBW Anniversary, James Taylor, Anthony Steele, 3 stages of hell. Last time, last show to end it all. And as James would say, in my eyes, because it can be no other way.
I mean, it ain't up to me, and I know it ain't up to you. That's a great pitch, and I accept your challenge, but it's just a matter on if these guys want the views or not, if these guys want the attention, because the wrestling world would like that.
Hey.
The backyard wrestling world. You see, here's something interesting. Some people ask why I wear something like this. Do you know the history about this chain? Did I ever tell you, Anthony? Did I ever tell you, Tom? I have had this chain since 2000. This chain is a lucky chain to me in my wrestling career. And I've brought it out of retirement recently because of my wrestling career, me doing the promos, me talking wrestling. And it's like it was only fitting to have this back. And this can, in a way, be considered the torch of backyard wrestling, because the day that I leave, the day that it's over, or the guy that earns the most respect from me, it might not mean nothing to them, but if they respect me in any way, this is a very sentimental piece. Kind of like Austin and his gold chain because of Brian Pillman. This was actually given to me by one of my best friends in the backyard. His name was Phoenix. His name was Nick. He was that guy, that small dude that I had a lot of matches back in the
spoke about him
TWF days.
when I inducted you. I used him in my speech. I remember.
This ain't a gold chain. This is a silver chain. Might not look like much, but it means a whole hell of a lot to me. But in a way, this is kind of like a torch to me. And if that day I finally am done, I might give this to somebody. But this right here is my good luck charm. It's always been
Even
my
the
good luck charm.
females want it. Even the females want it.
Even the females want it. There you go. But
I'm
there
sure
it is.
somebody's out there certainly might know somebody on the platform. So even the females want it. So
Well, it was
I know
said
it is.
here.
I know
It was. It was said here. I wanted to bring it up. Anthony said something. What is your take, Tom? Let's go to you, boss man, because you got the shirt. I appreciate the support, by the way. Get your Nemesis James Taylor t-shirt. You can check it out on my Etsy store. We'll get that situated. But nonetheless, Tom, with what we just said and pitched, and you just got that t-shirt from TBW, what's your take on all this? This is your show.
I say it all the time. When we talked about you in Alabama in that promotion and what it would have done for that company, for you to go there and to wrestle there and to be built upon there and maybe have a feud with the individual that you've certainly had some, I would say maybe some, issues with, maybe at least on some type of communication level, considering the history that you guys have, considering Anthony's career, considering your career. Leave aside whether somebody likes or doesn't like somebody. At the end of the day, what will draw views, what will draw eyes or more eyes to the TBW world and to the backyard wrestling community, a match that a lot of people would salivate one more time, while you could still go out there and give it 110% in terms of what you'd want to do. To me, it's a no-brainer to hold this match in TBW. There is no other place. Sorry to the guys in Wisconsin. Sorry to the guys in Alabama, especially after what you said about them. Summer Bash would be great, but at the end of the day, the history, the natural history, I think Summer Bash would be great, no question. But in terms of the history that you guys had in TBW, it should finish there. I mean, think of it this way. I mean, Sting and Ric Flair was the last match of WCW. It was the last match of WCW. Wasn't anybody else. James Taylor and Anthony Steele should have their last match. Not in WCE, not in AWL, ROEW, not in VTW, DBW, IMF, DKW. I mean, you name a Fed, LBYW, BWDU. I mean, you can go and name any promotion you want. We love all of them. We're all Wrestling Matters. TBW is the place where this match should happen. And all the things that we talked about in the feud and the history, it should continue in TBW. Because at the end of the day, what's best for business? At the end of the day, where is the history? And at the end of the day, there is no place it should be other than in a TBW ring. Hands down.
Amen.
So, Titan, if you're watching, I know you got ties. I know you got strings to pull. It can be a one-off thing. I don't need to come back after that. I don't need to show up before that. Let it happen. Let the world see what they want. Let James Taylor and Anthony Steele finish where it all began.
Listen, Roman and Cody, right? It's not happening in AEW. The Rock isn't wrestling in AEW, right? At the end of the day, with all due respect to any other company that we work with on Sportswire, like I said, I'm about all Wrestling Matters. We love everybody. But at the end of the day, one more time, James Taylor and Anthony Steele should take place in Tennessee backyard wrestling. Your match in Resurrection, while it was great, it was an honor to watch it. It was an honor to call it. That rematch should have happened in Tennessee. The next time you guys are in the ring should happen in Tennessee. Like I continue to say, you're not going to see Roman and Cody in AEW. You're not going to see him in Impact. The Rock isn't returning, and he's wrestling in AEW. I mean, look at all the guys that have gone to AEW recently. With all due respect, I mean, Sting, he did it great, but Sting should have ended his career in WWE. I mean, at the end of the day, all these guys, I mean, Adam Copeland's in AEW. He's going to end his career in AEW. That's an absolute travesty. Ric Flair had it all said and done the way he retired. We need to get this one right. And think about all the new eyeballs, all the new wrestling fans that have come to TBW and have come to Backyard Wrestling since you guys last wrestled that match. For a new generation, a new audience, let's have this match happen. Doesn't even have to be for a title. Doesn't even have to be for a stipulation. Let's just settle the score to see who is the real deal. Who is the king? Who is the true best in the yard? Let's have it home in TBW.
Hey, man. I agree.
I'm gonna put it out there, James, and you can agree. Tom can agree. If CM Punk can come back to WWE,
There it is.
anything is
And
possible.
in TBW, by the way, I want to say this. TBW, you can say anything you want about them. I'm going to go on the record and say that TBW, they clearly know how to do business. TBW's got the subscribers. TBW knows what it does for its fans. TBW knows in terms of how to put on a good product. TBW is in touch with what the community wants. TBW has an eye on things. TBW understands that you can put personal animosity, personal issues aside to deliver what the fans want, because TBW has done that time and time again. I mean, I'm going to go say it here. You worked in XCW, Anthony Steele, but at the end of the day, TBW crushes XCW when it comes to views and it comes to footsteps and it comes to interest. Why? Because TBW understands how to promote itself. TBW understands at the end of the day in terms of how to get a product out there for their fans, and they know what the people want. And I'm not knocking XCW. I love XCW. XCW is one of the gold standards. But TBW, when it comes to understanding what its fans want, they will know how to market this match and put it where it deserves to be, in the spotlight, where it deserves to be, in the best in the yard, where it deserves to be, where it'll get the most eyeballs and the most attention. This match should happen only in one place, in Lafayette, Tennessee, at Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, wherever it might be. And I would certainly hope, as actually a fan of both of you guys, as a fan of this sport, and yes, as somebody that has a vested interest into it on Sportswire Radio, I would hope it happens in Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. Because TBW, say whatever you want about them. TBW, they get it. TBW, at the end of the day, people can say any pot shot that they want. But I don't see XCW with the subs that TBW has. I don't see XCW with the views that TBW has. I don't see XCW doing what TBW does. As a matter of fact, I don't even see ESW that does what TBW does. Yeah, I said it. TBW is the place that people want to go to. And you know, I'm going to say it even further. TBW is the place that the British pro wrestlers that come on the Sportswire, they watch and follow. Yeah, I said it. The pro wrestlers, they watch TBW. They ain't watching XCW. They ain't watching ESW. They're watching TBW. And I'm watching WCE, and I'm watching LBYW, and I'm not knocking those companies. I'm not knocking XCW. I love XCW. We've worked well with them. You know, obviously the owner, though, said a few things about TBW. He should probably maybe rethink what he said about TBW, but that's all good. Everybody has opinions. We're all entitled to them, and it's all good. But the facts is that TBW is where this match should be. Simple as that.
It's this simple. And this is the thing I don't get. I mean, at the rate I'm going, I've been gaining a shitload of followers lately and subscribers and stuff. I mean, by the time the year is over,
I mean, listen, I would love to see it in VTW, but you guys aren't in the VTW lens. I don't think they're. VTW to me is right there with TBW as well. You know, like XCW would be great to see you guys. We have no history in XCW. Summer Bash would be great, but there's no history there with Summer Bash. VTW is a great product, but you have no history there. Your homes are in TBW, and you need to be back home. If, as a matter of fact, the both of you need to come back home where you belong in TBW. You need to come home. It's time for people to come home. CM Punk came home. Hulk Hogan came home. Bret the Hitman Hart came home. Stone Cold Steve Austin came home. Anthony Steele and James Taylor need to come home to TBW.
Are they listening?
Home hasn't been the same without you guys. You need to come home.
The thing is, Tom, are they listening? Because you're making bullet points. You're making perfect points about what you're saying. Great examples, but are they listening? That's going to be the big question after this broadcast.
TBW's not the owner in Alabama. TBW's not the owner in Indiana. TBW knows how to play ball. TBW knows that they have their ear and eyes to the pulse. They have their ears and eyes to the ground. TBW knows at the end of the day that the people that have delivered for them, and they know at the end of the day that two of the biggest draws in the yard, in the history of this yard, should certainly come back home where they belong and where they helped build a company that, in my opinion, is the most known one, to the point that even some of my buddies across the pond even know who TBW is. So this isn't me as a promoter. This isn't me as a guy that's got, some vested interest in it. I got no skin in the game. I got no, when I talk about all these companies, I just talk about watching as a fan. The only company that could accurately put this storyline together is TBW. Let me spell it to you like Bret Hart when he did W. Let me before we move on, because I know people are kind of sick of this. They got the point. When Bret Hart got screwed, when he put WCW, I'm going to do it right now for you for Anthony Steele and James Taylor, where they need to belong. To have this one more match is going to be TBW. Let me do it again. TBW. That's spelled. You got that?
Yep. And somebody wants to make a funny little comment.
Oh.
It's a whole different story, buddy. Whole different story now.
I want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. Strike Zone, who's follows me from baseball, and I don't know if he's following the conversation, but we're talking about James Taylor and Anthony Steele returning to Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. So, Mr. Strike Zone, I don't know if this is maybe a show you might tune into, but we are in the bottom of the ninth inning of the show, to use a baseball term. So we are basically in the final outer two of the show. But I hope it happens. Listen, all I'm going to say is that I would love to see you guys wrestle one more time. I think the only natural place it should happen is in Lafayette, Tennessee. That the correct place, right? Lafayette, Tennessee? I'm pretty sure that's the place, right? Lafayette, Tennessee?
Lafayette, Tennessee, yep.
I mean, I could hold it here on Sportswire. I mean, I'm sure I could afford a ring, but I don't have the history. I mean, I'd put the match here on Sportswire. I'm sure I could do it, but I don't have the history here that you have in TBW. I mean, I would be more than happy to do it, but I don't think it has that same connection. I mean, I'll do it, but I don't think, I don't think it'd work with me,
No, but
I think I could call the match.
It'd be an interesting take. If they were to agree to make this match, to let this match happen, would you agree to call it?
I would do whatever it took necessary to make the match happen in Tennessee. I'll do anything to make the match happen in Tennessee.
Why don't we get a vote in the comments? How many people out there think this should end at TBW?
Well, Titan had a question for me. What would you have? He said, I haven't.
I'm going to come back to that. And I want to say to Strike Zone, thank you for your support, and I really appreciate you. You have been awesome since I met you about a month and a half ago. Let me come back to the question for James. Where was it? I don't remember. Where was the question for James?
It was Titan. You haven't wrestled since anniversary.
Oh, so I got it. So,
will you be able to hold up since it's almost 6 or more months since you wrestled, or will you fall like the rest to Atomic Titan? Shut up. I mean, that was a whole different situation. That was a different environment. That was in a place I'd never been before. TBW is more of my comfort zone, believe it or not. And
Listen, and that's why I
I'd
don't
step
think,
right all over your face. So,
listen, and that's why, with all due, I want to continue to say it because I don't want this to be misinterpreted. I love XCW and I love VTW as examples, but you have no histories there. There makes zero sense for you guys to return or go to a company that you have no history. And again, we work with VTW and XCW, and I'm not knocking them at all. I want to put that clear. I'm not knocking anybody tonight. I'm not knocking anybody. To me, you guys need to come home. That's all. You need to come home. It's almost like, to me, like Wednesday nights for the past 7.5 months, I was on a radio station, with 60,000 listeners, quote unquote. But to me, Wednesday nights weren't the same because I wasn't on Sportswire. I needed to come home. You guys need to come home and wrestle in Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. That's all I'm going to say.
Think about the publicity we could put out there, TBW. Think about it. We got Sportswire Radio. I've got almost 70,000 followers on my TikTok. I could advertise that shit on there easily. I have 40,000 subscribers on my YouTube.
Anthony Steele is the real deal, and everybody knows Anthony. So anytime Anthony Steele comes into a chat, all of a sudden people talk. They won't admit it. Listen, promoters won't admit it. They won't admit it, but they tune in. They hear what Anthony has to say. Listen, Fletch, I'm sure Fletch is going to find out Anthony Steele was on Sportswire. He could say whatever he wants. I love Fletch. I'm just saying,
I heard Fletch don't like me.
Well, he doesn't like a lot of people, apparently. That's kind of the word through the grapevine. But, hey, I mean, that's, but that's why his company has 1,500 subs or less than that, and TBW has 7,000. Hey, I mean, I love Fletch, though. I want to say I love Fletch. But maybe that's why, the TBW product triumphs the XCW product in views. I'm just saying, I don't want to make this about, I love
TBW. Check out TBW on TikTok as well. They got over 30,000 followers on TikTok.
Because they know how to promote themselves. Promote themselves. So I think we got the point. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be back later tonight.
What?
And technically it's today. Well, today. Well, it's technically today now. It's Monday.
Oh, yeah.
So the point is that I'm going to be back on Sportswire, and I'm sure Mr. Steele will come up again because maybe I'm going to call Omen Black versus Anthony Steele. So I'm going to be here. You can follow these guys on all of their platforms. I'm going to put the banner up here for you because it is getting late. My voice is kind of rough at this point, but I think you got the point. The point is that let's see Anthony Steele and James Taylor one more time in Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. We love all wrestling matters. Love everybody. XCW, VTW, DBW, ROEW, LBYW, IMF, WCE, DKW. I love all the companies. AWL. Yes, I love AWL. But the company that it needs to happen one more time in is the company I'm looking at right now with my shirt on. Tennessee Backyard Wrestling.
Yeah, James, I got some new sneakers that I got to show off on camera. I think I need to bust them in for a minute.
Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, you want to follow these guys. That's their description. We've said enough. You can tune in. I'll be here at 10 o'clock Eastern time for Omen Black to be the first two-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. I'm going to call one of his matches with Anthony Steele. So something tells me Anthony Steele is going to be back.
I work until 10 p.m. Central time. So
I might actually, probably miss you tomorrow. Well, maybe. Who knows? You never say never. Never say never.
Hey, look, I hopped in with Craven Rage while I was at work. Who knows?
You never know. But obviously, everybody, enjoy the rest of the evening. All wrestling matters. TBW, big shout out to you guys. Big love to you for the shirt. Big love to James Taylor. Big love to Anthony Steele. Big love to XCW, VTW, DBW, IMF, ROEW, DKW, WCE, LBYW, BWU, EBW, Forever EBW. If I forget about Forever EBW, they will kill me. Forever EBW. Big shout out. By the way, Forever EBW could be maybe a home one day for Anthony Steele, I hear through the grapevine. So, make sure. But, actually, before I go, there's actually somebody that wants to say something very quick from a company called Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. Should I say no, or should I let them come in?
this is the first time they'll be in the same room as me in how many years, James?
I don't know, but bring him on.
And I tell you, it's not the Prophet J. Wild.
I think I know who it is. So
You
go ahead
think
and
so?
bring his little turtleneck, sunglass, looking at himself on.
Not Alexander Kelly, huh? Never mind. I'm gonna. Well, I think actually off the air. Until then, everybody, he's saying off the air. So we'll
Okay.
talk to that conversation off the